the Waterloo Bridge, where a dull day has dawned, with warnings of thunderstorms later. And we're going to get going through Kidderminster, hopefully to the end of the Stourport and Worcester at Stourport Junction. Let's see how that goes.
Well, we've set off. Here we are at Waverley Court Lock, which is just a little way from where we were moored for the last quite a few nights actually. This guy went by just before we set off. Anyway, Pete's helping him through the lock. He's a single-handed boater, so it's always nice to get a bit of help. So we're quite happy. We're not in any rush, although it's going to rain about 12, but we'll just see. Very warm today, a bit muggy. Right, we'll see what fun we have on this cruise. Correction, this is Waverley Lock, and there's a boat coming up now.
And the character of the canal changes as we start to come into the outskirts of Kidderminster. Gone are those sandstone cliffs. Still very pleasant, but more normal, if I can say that about a canal.
Used to be the town's main wharf. It's been busy with carpets and coal and the rest of it. That was just the geese, those. Unfortunately, the rain's come early. Going down, put them into the lock. This is 11 feet 10.
Kidderminster is of course famous for carpets, but it doesn't make them anymore. Once there were warehouses like this all over the town, but apparently this is the only one that's left. And it's being put to good use for Debenhams and Frankie and Benny's, the post-industrial retail culture. Arms like this used to be used to load raw materials, goods and carpets onto the boats. All blocked off now. Still technically on the outskirts of Kidderminster, but the Stourport and Worcester hasn't given up on its pretty scenes yet. And this impressive structure coming into view carries the Severn Valley Railway over the canal, over the valley by the looks of it. Severn Valley, of course, one of the premier preserved railways in the UK, ex-Great Western I suspect, so very impressive.
And there's Serenity just coming out of the lock. Like we're just coming into Stourport. There's one of the old canal buildings here on the right. It's like an old wharf. The bridge used to carry a railway, and then just here is the basin for the railway, used to transfer the goods. Used to be an iron foundry. This lovely old building.
And here we are, moored up just above the basin in Stourport. Remember, the mooring you have is better than the mooring you'd like. We might go and have a look at the basin and see if there's any moorings in there. But for now, we're stopping here. And the first priority is to go to the shops because we need to have lunch. And we've got nothing. Well, heavy showers this afternoon. We managed to have a quick look round, but I think we'll stay here and do a proper explore tomorrow before moving on Monday. So we'll see you then, and we'll show you around Stourport. For now, we're off to the pub. Good night. Well, it's the next day, and it's dawned fine, although rain predicted later. So we're off for a little explore of Stourport before moving on, probably tomorrow, onto the mighty Severn. So this walk involves a disused railway line, a marina and the River Severn, as well as a castle possibly. So let's see. There's a nice canal-y scene as we're about to leave the canal and strike out down an old railway line. This is an old basin, railway basin, now houses, where they used to transship coal used for the ironworks. And there's the old bridge with Judith standing on it, which we're going to go up to. Great Western Railway. Another one of these amazing bridges with fantastic views. I think that's probably the River Stour down there. It's cutting through sandstone cliffs, a bit like the canal. You can see how the railway builders carried on where the canal builders left off. If you put water instead of the rail bed, you could well be on the Shropshire Union with this high bridge crossing the cutting. And by another one of these amazing bridges, we take our leave of this old railway track and start to head towards the Severn, as long as the footpath exists. Let's hope it gets better. And now we're out into open countryside, so quite a transition. And this is Hartlebury Castle, seat of the Bishops of Worcester for 1,000 years. Now a museum which you can go round for around 12 quid. And now we're on Hartlebury Common, which looks like a nice area of sort of scrub, I suppose you'd call it. The hope is we can find our way across this down to the River Severn. Beautiful though, isn't it? Beautiful heathland on this unexpectedly lovely day. Amazing how high up we are. There's Stourport, nestling in the valley. See the Tower of the Fun Fair. What an amazing tree. Or trees. Now it's time to start the descent into the Severn Valley. Well, things were going so well until we came to one of those footpaths that was signed with a big new fancy sign. It was completely overgrown with nettles. So we're taking a diversion through this industrial estate to see whether we can find the footpath at the other end. Fingers crossed. And after an awful lot of shenanigans with blocked footpaths, barbed wire, caravan parks, stinging nettles, I think we're now, hopefully, on a path through these woods that will take us to the River Severn. Fingers crossed. And there at last is our first glimpse of the River Severn, on this walk anyway. And here is Lincoln Lock, the last lock before Stourport. We're going upstream on the River Severn. All being well, we'll be here sometime tomorrow. Lunchtime. And now we're just walking past Stourport Marina with its massive boats. And here one last time is the River Stour as it finally meets the Severn under this bridge. Coming into Stourport now alongside these old warehouse buildings. So these are the wide locks that lead down from the Staffs and Worcester onto the River Severn. We won't be taking those because we're not wide. Let's have a look round the basin. This will be our route. 2 sets of staircases of 2 locks each that take us down onto the Severn, with this tricky turn to get out of one set into the next set. And Stourport's very own fun fair. Give it that seaside town ambience. And here's the basin with the famous clock tower. Stourport is supposed to be one of the most complete examples of a canal basin that's still in preservation. Brief pit stop at the boat, and then I think there's a nice pub just up the canal that is worthy of a visit before the rain comes. And back to the boat just in time before the thunderstorms come over. Another test for our new canopy. Well, I think we'll leave you there in Stourport, preparing for our trip down those locks onto the River Severn. So that's where we're going next time. But for now, I hope you've liked this video, and if you have, as always, please like, comment and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate your subscriptions. And also shout out to Scott, who you saw briefly in Wolverley Lock. We met up with him later in Stourport and had a bit of a session in the Black Star. Really interesting guy. And we actually met up with him later as well. So glad to have met Scott. Hope you're watching this and hope to see you again. For now, bye bye.